Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra's Lair. I'm your host, Larry the Chupacabra, and today we're going to be checking out the early access, simplified, and minimalist Planetary Survival game of Astroneer. And this is a game that has kind of distilled a lot of the different planetary survival tropes down to its most quintessential parts, and it also has a pretty nice set of graphics to it as well. So the way that this works is we start out the game and we're attached to an orbital station, probably a colony ship, and we have to pick one of these characters to start out with. I don't actually know if these differ, like, except for visually. Like, I played as this guy before, but there's like standard NASA guy and then like Thin Man Bob, which I guess we'll try out, see what he's like. So after that, we simply deploy our little ship and we begin to descend down to the planetary surface with everything popping in. And then here we are. So we've landed. And now this is our start of our base of operations. So we've got a little space person, a little spaceman, and our job is to go out into this wide world and use this terrain suction device, this little suction tube, in order to gather up different resources. And once we leave the safety of this magic blue tether, we then lose infinite oxygen. So we're on just an oxygen tank now. And we're trying to find some different resources, like this stuff over here. It kind of looks like little bits of that astronaut ice cream Dippin' Dots in the distance. And we need to capture up some of that. And this is just some compound, is what it's called. And we suck all this up until our battery drains and we don't have any power left. And then while we wait for that to refill, we're just gonna shimmy back to the spaceship before that little blue bar on our backpack here falls back down to 0. So there's a couple different materials that we have to deal with that I've discovered when I was first testing out this game. We've got this thing called compound, and then we've got this thing called resin, and that's basically the two primary materials here that we have to deal with. And then that's it. Like, we've got, like, different things like these trees. Not really sure what the trees do. The plants give us organic materials. Also, like, I guess I can't suck up the tree, but the tree does things. I can't suck up that... It looks like a spiny cactus, like a yucca plant. So I can't suck that up, but I'm looking now for the component called resin. And you know what? I might be able to craft, using some of that compound, a solar power module. And if I click on this, it'll convert the resin in my inventory. And now I have a little solar power module so that I should be able to, at least during the day, or maybe during the night too, be able to generate power a little bit faster. And that's really what this game is about. It's a really minimalist game about being an astronaut colonizing a planet somewhere. And you've got to solve astronaut problems of, like, you know, having enough oxygen, or having enough material to build different contraptions like 3D printers, or rovers, or whatever. You know, you got a lot of things that you've got to do. And you can accomplish a lot of those goals by simply going out and gathering things, and so far, like, none of these different machines that you build in this game have got a tooltip that explains it. It's all just kind of what it sounds like it would do. So let's see here, like, one of the things I can build is I can build these tethers out of this compound material. And what tethers do is they're going to allow me to extend the reach of my oxygen capabilities so that I don't suffocate to death while I go out and I gather all of these materials. So now I can hit T, and I can place these little anchor points, and this is going to allow me to extend the range of my oxygen tether almost indefinitely. And they also provide their own source of light because they're powered by my little space pod. And the little space pod is basically my home base. So at any point, I can hoof it back here. And I can hit tab next to it. And that'll allow me to go back into my ship, take a piss or something, and then save my game. So my goal right now with these tethers is I'm going to try and find a source of resin. Because resin's going to be the material, the building material, that I'm going to be using to expand my base. I don't necessarily know that these building materials have any earthly correlation to anything, but who knows? And actually, it looks like there's a weird piece of, like, human-built construction over there in the distance. So let's go see if we can get closer to that thing. Because sometimes those things have rare materials in them, like aluminum, that would otherwise be a bit of a pain in the ass to get into and get. Alright, so I got a beacon where my base is. And you can see, you can get a lot of range out of things like these tethers. So there's no reason not to go for broke. So let's see here. We've got this unknown thing. And can I take it with me or something? Oh, I guess I can take this with me. Okay. That's kind of cool. So this is like part of a spaceship. It's like a solar panel array. That's kind of nifty. And over here is like a resource pod. So if I walk up to this thing, it'll deploy. And then inside of it are some organic materials. And some aluminum, which I can just slap in my backpack. Alright, that wasn't a complete waste of a trip. I can now deposit these materials back at my ship. And there's also something over there, but I'm not quite sure what that is. It's glowing and there's an arrow over it, so clearly the game wants me to investigate. But that doesn't always tell you something. So that's power. Okay. I always thought you had to get power somewhere else, like with politics or something, but apparently political power just grows on trees in this game. Who would have guessed? And this thing looks glowy and fancy. Oh, so now I just have liquid oxygen from nowhere. Okay. Well, I guess that's not the weirdest way that I've gotten oxygen today. Who would have guessed? So I'm still looking for some place where I can get resin. So resin, it looks like a weird piece of coral, is what it really looks like. And it kind of grows out in the middle of these weird landscapes. Like, oh, there's some. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Whoops, that thing didn't behave itself. So this stuff, this is resin. It kind of looks like this weird kind of tumory coral. So we'll dig up this dirt with our extractor and suck up all this resin that we can hold. Especially now that it's daytime, we have pretty much infinite energy to suck all of it up. And unfortunately, let me dump some of these organics. I don't really need these. Our backpack here, our space backpack, it's only got so much space in it to do stuff. So, let's grab this, put this back here. There we go. That should be enough to start us out. Let's head back on over to the old base. And I thought this was an interesting way of handling Planetary Survival. Because in this game, it kind of handles with, like, cartoony Looney Tunes style survival. Where, you know, in cartoons, if you want to go to the bottom of the sea, you just grab your garden hose, and as long as it's long enough, you can go to the very bottom and be fine. And this kind of follows that same logic, where we just extend these tethers so that we can keep oxygen supplied to us pretty much indefinitely. So now I'm going to be extending our base with these resin, and it's going to allow us to build out some different constructive materials. So this is like a build platform, I think, where I can build a 3D printer, I can build a research module, I can build a smelter or a vehicle bay. And I do have aluminum. Like, I do have some aluminum, so I can start building a vehicle bay. Actually, I could build a researcher with compound or a smelter with compound. Maybe I should do that. Let's start a researcher. Because I can go get more compound really easily over here. And that should be a good basis where we can get started on all of this. Although it is kind of bright during the day in this game, and I wouldn't be opposed if the game, like, would let me turn my flashlight off, because this is very bright where I've got my flashlight. Let's go get some more of this compounds while we're here. As you can see, this stuff acts like a mineable, like, ore resource, like copper or something, where you can just keep going deeper and deeper into the ground and get more, so long as you're careful that you don't trap yourself in the ground. Because it is possible to get so deep in here that you get trapped. And you probably don't want that. So you gotta be careful that you leave yourself a neat slope that you can walk up when you're done. So that's a boatload of compound, and I guess I must be sucking up that oxygen that I had in my inventory, because my oxygen level didn't really go down all that much. But this should allow us to build something cool, and this is as far as I've gotten in the game, so you guys are experiencing this as I sort of figure stuff out. So let's see, research table, let's slap some more compound down. And build you. Alright, it needs power, apparently. How do I power you? I must have to build a generator first, so what do I need for that? I need resin. Okay, so I gotta go get more resin, got it. One of the nice things about this game is if you open up Q to your inventory, you can just kind of slap some shit on the ground and then move about your day. Let's turn some of that resin into some more tethers in case we need it. And let's go shimmy jimmy gumballs and see what's hiding out over here. I could go back over that way, but I just kind of arbitrarily chose over here, so we're just gonna keep exploring in this direction. I wonder if there's a realistic limit to how much you can tether in this game, because it seems like the super advanced space 3D printing, like, technology of the future allows me to just kind of go off into infinity and not worry about it. But I would not necessarily depend on or trust that, so there you have it. Okay, so there's more of this stuff deep underground. And we may, yeah, we're gonna need to go find more. Long story short. So what direction looks like it has more resin? There's more compound over here. I'm not exactly for want of compound. I could use more resin, though. Like, I legitimately could use more of that. And it looks like there's some more over here. Way off in the distance over there, so let's go meet up with this tether over here. Love the minimalist-like environment, by the way. Like, the people that make this game have done a really nice job adding a lot of variety and flavor to this game, so that it feels like there's a lot of stuff going on. And I'm gonna have to walk around this shitty pit, it looks like, so let's do that. So there is an underground component to this game, and deep underground there is stuff that will straight up murder our faces. So I'm gonna stay out of there until we've established ourselves a little bit more. But that is a thing that is definitely available to us. So let's see. I'm out of tethers. I could possibly go get shit to make more, but it's not really that important. This mineable resource is not that far away from the tether, so... This is hydrazine. This isn't even what I want. This is completely different. Okay, we got some hydrazine. I guess that's cool. Didn't even know that was the thing that I needed. Go figure. So we'll pick up some more oxygen, and I guess we'll just look around over here. I guess we could use more compound, and then I can go build more tethers and extend the reach of my capabilities while we're out here. Okay, done and done. Yeah, it's looking like there's not a lot of difference between these characters. This character behaves like the other one. It's just it's an aesthetic difference. Which is fine. I mean, I'm certainly not opposed to any of that. It looks like hydrazine is a fuel, so that might be what we need for a generator. Well, I can build a portable generator with copper. And I can also build a beacon, which is what I want to do. Okay, perfect. So let's go back over here. Put away our suction cup. And let's extend our tethers over to this hydrazine. And I want to say I can just deploy this beacon wherever. Yeah, okay, so we have a beacon. Neat. Okay, we have a beacon. Huzzah. I wish you could, like, label it, but, you know, whatever. I'm not... Beggars can't be choosers, can't be picky dicky Nancys, or whatever you want to call it. Let's extend some more of this over in this direction. Shit. Gotta be careful when you place your beacons, or else they'll get all fucked up. Hello, that looks expensive and important, that glowing shit. What is that? It's just free oxygen. So that's one of the things that gets me with space travel in a lot of different ways, is that depending on the environment of the planet that you're going to, you can get different things that are like critical survival components for human beings that are just like in crystal form that you can't do anything with. Unless you have a special piece of technology, so that was interesting. And that's just a thing out in the universe that you can run into. Go figure. Okay, out of power. Let's go back to the old tether. And it's interesting that you don't necessarily need a lot of power in order to generate, like, the 3D printer. Oh, I guess I could have just used aluminum to craft a wind vane, but it's a little late for that. Let's make some tethers. There we go. Awesome. And really, like any survival sim game, a lot of what you do to begin with is a lot of just general purpose exploration as you try to figure out where you stand within the game. That looks like a tornado or some shit. That doesn't look healthy. But it looks like there's a cave over here by this thing. And what is this? This is resin, which I do need more of. So I'll just suck all that up out of the wall. Beautiful. And if I go back and get that aluminum that I left inside that machine, I should be able to build a power generator that will allow us to Power whatever that thing was that I built. Ah, I guess there's just a localized weather storm that just kind of cropped up and started doing stuff. You know, I always like a game that has a certain level of depth to it. So let's get back to the base, and then we'll probably call it for this episode, but I find that of all the survival games that I've played, this one that's just simple and to the point has got to be one of the better ones, where it just gives you exactly what you need to be interested in, and nothing more, really. Can I pick this up? No, I guess not. Alright, well, whatever. Ooh, I might be able to hook up to this thing, actually. So maybe I could use this to build, like, a proper base or something as we go along. That would be kind of neat. And then I've got this thing to research when we've got, the, like, all of our equipment set up. Although it kind of makes the running a little janky when you pick it up. Like, I like that it makes you run slower, because this is clearly a heavy as shit object, even though I'm not technically touching it with my hands, but so far, I gotta say, Astroneer gotta be one of my favorite random gems of 2016. Just based on the simplicity of gameplay and how much I've enjoyed that so far. So let's go over to our base. Come on. Let's go. Don't jimmy with your weird janky legs. Come on. You can do it, Billy. I believe in you. Okay, let's put that there in the research module. And then we need to use this to create power. So let's create a wind vane out of this aluminum. Okay. So what do I need to power you? Do I put this here? Does that work? It does! Well, hot damn. So this is powered up, and it's powering up all the cells. Okay. Yeah, not bad. Let's use some of this resin, because we can basically start expanding our base yet further. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. And that'll use up those machines. Oh, I'm stuck. Oh, no. No, tell me why. I want to live. Uh-oh. How do I get unstuck? Shit. We didn't save. No. I want to live. Oh, I've gotten stuck. Well, I guess I'll figure that out and figure out how to get unstuck, and I'll catch you guys and gals next time. Thanks for joining me. I've been your host, Larry, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We got more Astroneer coming your way, because it's a wonderful early access game, and I'm loving it so far. So toodles, everybody, and have a good one.